Hi guys, in today's video I am showing you my sink rebuild because I impulsively picked up a piece of furniture off the side of the road and I think it's going to make a really awesome sink replacement for my little process that I have going right now. So I'm kind of taking apart my current sink, so I'm going to show you what my system so far has been and then we're going to upgrade it. So my sink is on my side doors, and then I have two 5-gallon jugs. This is my dishwater and this is my dirty dishwater. But yeah, I have this ratchet strap action wrapped around this little table, and then I've just been unclipping it and unscrewing these little table angles, which is how I've been securing it to the floor. Cool. So all the screws that are holding it to the floor itself are removed. So the next step is to detach the screws holding my foot pump to the ground. So now I'm just going to start by getting the jugs out so I can move the table. My clean water jug, so you can kind of see through here. These are just fit on and clamped on with a hose clamp, and then this tubing is food safe tubing. And then this just comes in through a hole I cut in the lid of this jug. So there's this long plastic piece, and that just keeps the tubing at the bottom. And then there's a rubber seal at the end of it so that it maintains pressure. Something I learned is that you have to burp your water sometimes, especially if you're going to be going into high elevations. So this is my foot pump. I took off the clear water connection with just a hose clamp, and then it has some tape here. So this is the connection in and up to my faucet. So I'm just gonna unscrew this little guy. One note for the connecting the water pump to your inlet faucet. I just found a sample hose like this at the hardware store when I was buying these nuts and bolts. So I just found a sample that matched the size of my sink inlet, and then I just matched up bolts in the hardware store to a sample tube, so I knew it was gonna fit. I believe this was a 3/8 inch, and this is a female adapter part. So this guy just sticks down into the water. You can see that metal tube there. I'll put a link in the description to where you can get those online too, but then I just attach this with some plumber's tape, PVC tape, and a hose clamp, and I haven't had any leaking problems. So that's kind of my process for this. I also did just a lot of research online. So now this is just, I'm just gonna leave so I know what the fuck is going on. And we're gonna take out my gray water next. This is called an RV hose pipe system, RV hose drain system. I'll put a link in the description if you're interested, but I kind of have to flush it because this isn't as far enough down, so I have to let gravity do the work. But I'm gonna take this off. Cool, my sink is out. So there's just a few little holes that I'm gonna duct tape over before I move that big ass thing here. I just swept the floor, it was really dirty, so now I'm just gonna tape the holes to protect the floor. So it's a little bigger than I thought. It fits pretty well. I want to be able to leave exit in and out over here, so I scooted this seat up as far as it can go, and then I'm gonna cut off this little corner with my handsaw so I can fit this corner into the square here. Guys, it's day 2. My friend Junior is filming for me.
What up?
Junior's letting me borrow his tools. He's another van lifer, which is super awesome of him. We're putting in my sink today. So this is my old sink template. There's a hole cut out, and then I did little diagonals on the corners so the sink has ultimate support. And I'm gonna cut a smaller hole than I think I'll need. I traced this out, and then we're gonna make a second cut after a fitting. Let's do it. So we got a drill bit, and we're gonna use the drill to make holes along the outline so that I can fit the jigsaw blade in here and start cutting. Second fitting.
So good fitting.
We made like 2 more cuts up here. And I think I need to, yeah, I think it's like, this corner is good. She's like seated nicely. And then I think this one just needs a little bit more on this side. We're gonna make maybe 2 more cuts. All right, so this is my final system. A couple of notes. I had to tape around my RV drain system. I accidentally cracked this little section by screwing in that screw too tight. So definitely be careful not to screw in too tight. You might crack it and the seal will be damaged. So I added another rubber seal internally, and then I taped off the outside of this to prevent this part from leaking. Another note that I learned is sometimes you have to burp the water pressure so your water can drain correctly. I emptied out this the other day, and now I'm refilling my clean water today. I added this plastic jug below them because sometimes the condensation will like seep through the plastic, and it was getting my floor pretty wet. So this has been a pretty good solution. I didn't want to like get new jugs. And the 5-gallon jugs will usually last me about a month, depending on like how many dishes I'm doing. And with your dishwater, like I use Dr. Bronner's soap, and that's it. I'm gonna be doing like a budget breakdown video on my Instagram about how much like water, gas, and like food cost me in the van as compared to like rent. So stay tuned for that. Check out my Instagram. Yeah, I'm gonna just go do my water. That was pretty much my sink rebuild video. I really liked my sink. I would recommend doing like a big sink. Mine is like a 15 by 15 square, and it's a self-mounting sink, which means that you can like clip the hardware onto to attach it underneath. I found it on Facebook Marketplace. My faucet was probably the most expensive part of the sink build. I bought a new one for like $100. We could definitely find a used one somewhere or make your own. Hello. Oh, you guys are so cute.